Well, Cunningham Pond, as most Peterborough residents know, is the location of the town beach on the North Shore, and the beloved place for the community to swim. More recently, we, the Monadnock Conservancy, and a group of Peterborough residents got the opportunity to make an offer and get under an agreement with the Peterson family to buy 100 acres on the south shore and on the eastern side of the pond to become permanent conservation land. The idea being that keeping this land undeveloped and opening it up to the public for pedestrian recreation is a great complement to the existing recreation that's going on at the beach already. When you're at the beach, you're looking across at this beautiful hillside that is undeveloped. The water quality in the pond is thankfully really, really high because the pond used to be the Peterborough town water supply, which is probably why it went so long remaining undeveloped. But more recently, 20 acres were subdivided off on the eastern shore to become 3 building lots, and those will have at least 2 new homes on it. But we have the opportunity to save the rest to become a pedestrian hiking area and a beautiful part of the backdrop of people driving in from the east into Peterborough, coming down off of Pack on Route 101. So we are raising $1.5 million to purchase it. Fortunately, we've already raised over 1.1. We're looking in the next 6 months or so to reach our goal and be able to close by the end of the year.
Nice. Now, is the town helping to pay for that at all?
So through the Conservation Commission and the Open Space Committee, the town has committed $250,000 out of a capital reserve fund for conservation acquisitions. So that was a huge accomplishment. But all the rest of the funding is coming from private donations from people in and around Peterborough who love the pond. We made the decision to not put this on as a town meeting warrant article to try to have it funded through new taxation. There already was this great capital reserve fund set aside in the town for conservation projects like that, and it was a really good match.
We are CCL, Citizens Climate Lobby, and we have a lobby in Washington, D.C. in June, where we will be presenting letters that we're writing here on the table. And we're going to try to pass this bill that is presently in Congress. And it's still in committee, but it probably won't get very far. At least not this year or next, but we're anticipating more and more backing. Right now the backing is it's supposed to be bipartisan, and yet that has not happened yet.
Well, it has one
We have one.
It has one Republican sponsor.
Yes.
It had 2 others in 2018, but they didn't get reelected.
Yeah.
But we expect more. The Citizens Climate Lobby is really working to get bipartisan support, and it will be introduced in the Senate when they have a bipartisan group of people to introduce it. So, and what it does is it puts a price on carbon at the source where it comes out of the ground, and then returns the proceeds from that fee to the citizens on an equal basis. So, which is really important if you think about the price of gas going up and of everything else that's made with fossil fuels. Poor people can't just decide to buy an electric car to drive to work tomorrow. They will get returned to them in the dividend enough to more than compensate for the rise in prices. And then as they do manage to adjust, they'll have the money to spend any way they want. And there are a lot of people who say, oh, wait, you ought to take that money and invest it in renewable energy. That's exactly what will happen if we return it to the people, because they will understand if they invest in renewable energy or conservation of energy, they'll have more money to spend on other things like their education or the movies or whatever.
The types of carbon offsets in Europe are not the same. They've had lots of trouble with it being ineffective, and through what we have studied, and it has been suggested that this is the answer.
This is
to
the
getting
way
us
it'll
not
work.
just a little bit of solar on your own individual house. That's great, but to actually affect the larger world economy.
Yeah, so NHTAP, we design and build high-performing purification technology, and we solve local water issues. Whether you're on public water or private water, we actually figure out the exact contaminants and chemicals and metals that are in that water, and then we go ahead and design custom filtration to remove those contaminants. So you actually have better tasting water, you actually have purified water delivered throughout the home to every faucet. It actually happens at your house. These systems right here, what they do is they connect to the main water line and they purify all the water coming in. So this is a more sustainable approach to having pure water, preventing from having to buy bottled water, Brita filters, replacement refrigerator filters, and you also have the benefit of showering in purified water also. So many people look past that fact of like drinking, but you actually absorb more chemicals in a 10-minute shower than by drinking 8 glasses of the same water. So it's it's pretty astonishing, right?
Yeah, that's I did not know that
Right?
until right now.
So it's if you're taking a 10-minute shower, you're literally absorbing a bunch of chlorine if you're on town water, or depending on what is in your water. Most people don't even know what's in their water.
Right.
Yeah.
No, out of curiosity, I mean, do you guys know like anything about what the quality of Peterborough's water is right now? I know we're looking for a new water source, but
Yeah, I think they're looking for a new well, or they're looking to source water from Jaffrey. I'm not entirely sure about that, but so they chlorinate the water here. So they add chlorine to disinfect the water, and then they send the water through 125-year-old pipes. So
is there a risk of it like leaching into the water?
for sure, there's always a risk of metals leaching into water. They do add a chemical to the water to raise the or to adjust the pH of the water to prevent leaching. But anytime you have a 125-year-old pipe, you're bound to have some sort of, or the possibility of lead or iron actually leaching into the water.
Or if you have like broken pipes, there's always like farmland.
Yeah,
There's nitrates.
yeah.
There's things like that.
Yeah.
There's so many avenues that.
And actually here in Peterborough, there's a Superfund site. So a Superfund site they're on the national priorities list of, there was a bunch of chemicals dumped into the land, and anytime you dump chemicals into the land, it eventually seeps into the groundwater, and makes its way into the drinking water supply. So there's the possibility of tetrachloroethylene in the water also.
Right,
which
and
is,
especially with all the conversations surrounding like PFAS and all
Yeah.
that going on right now. I mean, not that we really know what's up with that yet.
yeah.
Like, I think they're still kind of trying to figure out what the long-term effects of PFAS exposure are.
But we know that there is effects on it.
Yeah, we definitely know that there's effects. Anytime you're absorbing industrial chemicals, like PFAS in particular, stays in your body for 4 years before the level even goes down by half, even if you don't take any more in. So it's it's pretty shocking.
We're based in Keene. We're Green Energy Options. We're, I guess, a 12-year-old business now, and we do solar, hearth, which is home heating, and cooling. So and that's kind of a nice little triangle because solar produces electricity, and hearth produces heat, and now we're into mini splits, which produce heat using electricity. And conventionally, electricity is like the most expensive way to heat your home, but with mini split technology, it's the cheapest. Here's a little picture right here. It's very streamlined. You have a unit on the inside and then you have a unit on the outside, and basically it compresses air and makes heat, and in the summer you can turn it to cool. It's quiet and it just fits in nice with communities that are trying to go 100% renewable, because it's something that you can power with solar. A lot of people come in and they think they need to move to gas. They need to get a gas appliance rather than a pellet or a wood. Well, pellets are wood, but cordwood. And this is a perfect solution because it's not fossil fuel. It it fits right nicely within the 100% renewable movement that's happening everywhere. Keene has signed on to it. I bet you Peterborough has as well, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So it's the wave. It's where we're going. But anyway, that's the business. And I also brought, I'm representing the Sustainability Project, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. And we are based in Gilsum, New Hampshire. We have an office at Green Energy Options, but we are making wheelchair accessible trails and edible forest gardens. We're trying to recreate the Garden of Eden, which is, self-maintaining, self-fertilizing. So we're using permaculture principles. We're at the beginning of a process to build a structure that'll be like 1,000 or 1,200 square feet. It'll be a place where we can host workshops and community gatherings out in the forest. So we're in the very early stages of designing that, and we have a summer program where workaway people come and stay with us, and we have a cabin there that people can camp at and help us out with whatever tasks are involved. Wheelchair accessible trails take a lot of maintenance.
Right, yeah, I can imagine.
So, yeah, actually, not an ordinary. We're in a 10,000K business program, which is designed to help small businesses really up their ante on,
to grow
and to
expand new employees.
And not an ordinary. Josh is not here.
Oh, my ears are burning.
Yeah. Anyway, so the three of her business, which is
Arc Systems International. Well, we're on Grove Street in Peterborough, and we store tokenized data. Get it out of your computer system so it can't be stolen. Sure. So it protects things that way. So,
Nice.
yeah, we like it. And most of our customers are thrilled with it. So anything we can do to help them.
We're promoting the Monadnock Beekeepers Club, which meets in Keene the first Thursday of every month, once a month. And then we try to do events like this because we're raising awareness and we're educating people and we're trying to create change.
Honeybees are a great way to know what is going on in the environment. So what happens is we have a hive of bees, and a hive of bees is an organism. And you can see how many bees are in the hive. So when something goes wrong, you can tell because there's no bees there. So that's why when we keep honeybees, you can tell, are things going really well with the environment? Are they not? That's why you have this CCD or colony collapse disorder that people are kind of worried about, like what's going on with the honeybees. Well, if it's something that's going on with the honeybees, it's probably going on with other insects as well. Mason bees are a local, or they are a native to the area. Those are something that people can keep. They don't get honey from them. But the fun thing about mason bees is they're very friendly, they don't sting, and they only live from like March and April through June. But the thing that people don't realize about mason bees is they are excellent pollinators. So if you want to have pollination for your apples or your fruit trees and you don't want to have a complete hive of bees, what you want to do is have mason bees. You can do something like bumblebees too, but then again, you've got to have a place for them to live. And that's like in the ground. Bumblebees live in the ground. They like to live where like maybe a mouse was, or there's loose gravel, things like that. So you can have those too. Again, you're not going to get any honey. Not a big deal. If you need just pollinators, go with something like bumblebees, or I love mason bees. And I've been doing it for probably 5 to 8 years. I've had mason bees. You have 10 or 20, but they're going to hit 10 times as many flowers as honeybees would. So you need a lot of mason bees, but you're not going to have huge hives like what we have with honeybees. So it's whatever you're looking for. So with an orchard, we usually put one hive of bees to 1 acre of an orchard. So you have to figure out how many mason bees do you really need, or like if you do have an orchard, maybe bumblebees might be a better idea, because bumblebees will go out in any kind of weather, they'll travel anywhere. It's just a matter of knowing what you need for pollination and what you need for insects and how much you want to spend. So see how different she is? She's just a little bit longer, she's black. She's a carniolan queen, and she's going to lay about 1,500 eggs in a day. So I don't know how many she'll lay today, because we have her in this observation hive, but she is making every effort to make as much good of the time that she has so that she can keep laying eggs, so that when it comes time for the hive to go out and forage, there's lots of bees to go out, because bees will do certain things in their lives. So a honeybee lives about 42 days. And so what ends up happening is a bee will be in the egg, it'll emerge, and then it has all kinds of jobs to do prior to going out and being a forager. So around 25 days into it, she's going to actually, the newbies are actually going to go out and start foraging. They work themselves to death pretty much, and in about 42 days, that's it. They fall off and they're gone forever. But they have their jobs. They don't fight unless it's to prevent other bees from coming into the hive. So they're protective of their family, but they have all these jobs that they do, and they work together and they talk. Communication, unbelievable.
Have you take a photo of This is a Peterborough native kind of
Well,
person.
and oh no, I can't take credit for that.
You were born
I'm an
elsewhere?
Import. Yeah, I was born in Boston.
In Boston?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
wow.
But I dropped the accent. Guys,